If you all would join me now in our covenant, it'll pop up here in 2 seconds. I don't know what that was. How interesting. That was me. Okay. You never know what happens on Sunday here. You just never know. All right. Well, let's try the covenant. So it's going to pop up here momentarily, and you can join me. Or it's on the back of your order of service. How many people got an order of service? You'll always have it with you. There you go. All right. We are an open, welcoming community who embodies respect, kindness, compassion, and curiosity. We foster a safe space that invites others to express their authentic, creative, and unique selves. We build relationships with one another by listening deeply with understanding and respect. We make a positive difference in our community using our combined time, talents, and treasure. And we are committed to embracing learning, growth, and change. And now for our chalice lighting.
It is our tradition to light a chalice at the beginning of our services. Our chalice lighting words this morning were written by Unitarian Universalist Reverend Dr. Rebecca Savage. Welcome, beloveds, welcome. We come to spiritual community this morning with many hopes in our hearts. The hope for inspiration, the hope for comfort, the hope for renewal. In this time and space, may inspiration water our thirsty souls and bring us soulful satiety. In this time and space, may comfort bud and blossom in the gardens of our hearts and bring us sweet relief. In this time and space, may renewal course through us, as electric as a surge of energy, as serene as a nourishing meal, as contagious as joy, and bring us vitality and rejuvenation. May our time together honor all the hopes we hold within. May our time together bless us with the gifts of inspiration, comfort, and renewal. Let us come and worship together.
have a reading this morning. It's from an article in the UU World magazine written by Kimberly French in the fall of 2007. It's about how Carolyn McDade wrote the hymn, Spirit of Life. McDade says she was at a meeting for Central American Solidarity, probably at a college. What she remembers most clearly was the feeling she had. When she got to Pat's house, I told her, I feel like a piece of dried cardboard that had lain in the attic for years. If you just open the door wide, I would be dust and blow away. I was so tired, not with my community, but with the world. She just sat with me, and I loved her for sitting with me. McDade then drove to her home in Newtonville. And she says, I walked into my house in the dark, found the piano, and that was my prayer. May I not drop out. It's not written, but prayed. I knew more than anything I wanted to continue in faith with the movement. She shared the song with the community of women she organized and sang with, and she still does with all of her songs. A handwritten version with just a melody line appeared in the songbook she used for years. Then in the early 1990s, the UUA Hymn Book Commission approached McDade about including her song in the Gray hymnal, Singing the Living Tradition. But she was reluctant. I thought it was a living prayer, not a hymn. I don't feel like I'm a hymn writer. McDade was not even aware of how widely or for how long Unitarian Universalists had been singing the song in their churches, copying it from gathering to gathering without getting her permission or paying the songwriter. They all loved it. I guess they just didn't think about it. A few years back, some friction heated up between McDade and Spirit of Life enthusiasts. UU members had written several additional verses to sing in their churches. McDade asked them to stop. She said, my feeling was you need to find your own melody. Don't lose what you want to sing, but find a way to make it yours.
With that, we'll sing Spirit of Life again. Spirit of life, come unto me, sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion, blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, For those of you watching our service online this morning, I invite you to take out your smartphone, open the camera app, and point it to the QR code you see on the screen. If you are in the sanctuary, you are welcome to do this as well. It will open to the UU Miami donation page, or you can go to uumiami.org and click on the donate button. Those who are present with us in the sanctuary, there will also be a basket passed around for your offering this morning. Today, you'll have the opportunity to not only donate to our congregation, but also to PACT, People Acting in Community Together. PACT is a Miami-based grassroots organizing nonprofit. They work on issues that are important to Miamians. PACT unites, organizes, and trains leaders from diverse congregations, schools, and community groups to build a powerful community voice. Individually and collectively, they are empowered to hold officials accountable, achieve systemic change, and promote fairness, justice, and democracy in Miami-Dade County. We will be splitting the plate collection with them through June this month. This congregation is sacred to so many of us, a community of memory and of hope. Let there be an offering to sustain and strengthen this place and the work we do in the world, for we are now the keepers of the dream. I want to invite us into a time of prayer or meditation. During this time, I'll be reading a meditation written by Reverend Rebecca C. Beckett Coppola. Each of us has our own way of entering that space for prayer or meditation. You might take a deep, slow breath and just settle in. Let your hands rest in your lap. Perhaps let your eyes rest or close. Find a position that works for you as you listen to these words and feel the space between the words. Let go of the idea that you know what breathing should feel like. Just notice the breath as it moves in and out of your body. Let go of certainty. Be with the breath as it is. Allow openness.
allow curiosity. Notice what's going on in your mind. Each thought that arises and fades away. As you notice, allow openness. Don't judge what's going on in your mind. Or your experience. Just be lovingly curious about each thought as it comes in and leaves your mind. Let go of certainty. Let go of any idea about what you should be thinking. Accepting your thoughts exactly as they are. Be with yourself as you are in this moment. And be curious. Be curious about who you are. Love how you are in the world. Right now. Now gently take a slow, deep breath. And as you let it out, you might even give a big sigh. And as you do, gently, comfortably enter into this present moment with us back in the stream of life. Amen.
You're welcome to stay seated if you'd like. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Would you like to know your future? If your answer is yes, I hope you think again. Not knowing is the greatest life motivator. So enjoy, endure, survive each moment as if it comes to you in its proper sequence. And be surprised. This is a quote from science fiction and fantasy writer Vera Nazarian. My friends, we know that there are some changes happening here at UU Miami, with me leaving at the end of the summer, well, July. So let's talk this morning about your expectations for the future of this congregation and your willingness to be surprised by what really happens. What changes happen, at least for me, my mind can come up with all kinds of possible consequences. When change happens, that's what I meant to say. When change happens, at least for me, my mind can come up with all kinds of possible consequences. I'm sure it's for you too. If something's changing in your life, your mind just begins to race as you come up with all kinds of ideas of what's going to happen, racing thoughts. Now, sometimes they're positive, sometimes not so much. As human beings, I think we tend to lean in the not always thinking the positive is going to come out when change is happening. I think it's easy for us to catastrophize situations, imagining all the terrible things that might happen as a result of change. For instance, well over 30 years ago, I was working at an outpatient clinic, psychiatric clinic. It's called Wetcher Clinic. They had a big W was our logo. Dr. Kenneth Wetcher was the chair of the board. He invited me and Martha to dinner, and he invited us to come down. We were living at Fort Worth at the time, and come down to Houston and work for him. He told me that we would be part of his new men's treatment program, and that I would be called on to consult with hospitals on the development of eating disorder programs. I'd be joining a team of psychiatrists and psychologists, psychotherapists, and social workers in providing services throughout communities south of Houston. I delved in. I worked hard. I joined that clinic and worked for Ken for 8 years. I learned a great deal from all the other people working there, and I was able to do things I'd never done before. I was a member of the board. I'd never been on a for-profit board before. I provided services for universities, for NASA JSC, and I helped the clinic expand into multiple campuses. It was amazing. But one night, I had an odd feeling, wondering if something was going on, some change was going to happen. You know how you have that like hairs on the back of your neck that go up and you think something's going to happen? Well, that's what I was feeling. And that night, as it turned out, Ken and I were the only ones left in the clinic. We were working late, each doing something different. So I went over to his office and I said, Ken, I'm just having this feeling. I don't know what's going on. Is there something changed going on in the clinic? He said, there's nothing happening. Don't worry about it. You go home, have a good night's sleep. Don't worry about it. The next morning, he fired everybody. Gave us 2 weeks severance. Needless to say, I was a little devastated. Desperate to find a new job, afraid. The first thing that pops in your head, your family's going to be on the street, that kind of thing. My internal pessimism went crazy with terrible, awful, not so good consequences that I'm sure were going to happen. But here's the reality. And I'll admit that I didn't even consider this reality at the time. There were many people in the field who valued my work, And people quickly began reaching out to me and actually to many of my coworkers for job offers. We were well thought of in the community. My family lived near me and loved me and supported me, and of course, they would not let me be destitute. You know, that was just a crazy thought. Martha was still employed. We had money in the bank. We had a great support system at our Unitarian Universalist church. You know, they weren't going to just let us, flounder. But when all this wonderful things started happening and I felt the support, and I was surprised. It was not what I expected. If I had just been open to what might happen and let myself be surprised, I wouldn't have had to go through so much grief. I got a much better, stable job that supported my growth in new and different areas. And as it turns out, that's when I got my call to ministry. And the new job was flexible enough to allow me to go to seminary and to become a Unitarian Universalist minister. And I have to tell you, I was also surprised by the amount of love and support I received from my extended support system, my church and family. In the midst of this moment when I lost my job, I thought I knew what the future was going to be. I was totally wrong. Now, my friends, you're going to face some changes here at UU Miami. Not nearly as dire as losing a job, but my wish for you is that you're willing to enjoy, endure, survive each moment as it comes to you in its proper sequence over the next year. Open to the wonderful, amazing surprises that you will experience. Don't focus on what is not anymore. Instead, open up to what might be and find in these new opportunities that which you may have never considered before. In the congregational meeting today, you'll begin to hear about some of the amazing things that are already happening from your leadership and new committee leaders. And I hope you have the same joy and surprise with what they share with you today that you experienced when I first started here at UU Miami. This is a time for you to be curious, innovative, and to decide what is really important to this community. Now, I'm going to ask you to do another meditation. I know, 2 meditations in one service, but bear with me. Give it a shot, okay? So, I want you to let your eyes close and take a deep breath, because I'm going to ask you to imagine for a moment. Imagine that you're here in this sanctuary 8 months from now. January, February, March, somewhere in there. It's before the service, and people are gathered in the back, maybe drinking coffee. Probably these same people that are here today, and probably new people that you've never met before are gathered there too. What might they be talking about before the service? Perhaps they're talking about what's going on at the church, or what social justice initiatives that are being worked on or have been completed. Perhaps they're talking about the children or youth or adult programming that are going on here. Maybe there's a recent service that you remember and you wanted to talk to somebody about, and you found somebody to talk with about because they were talking about it too. And then Alex gets up and asks us all to sing, maybe Spirit of Life, who knows? and the service starts, and you're here, and you're experiencing it. And maybe there's some things in it that you'll take away with you that'll make a difference to you. Maybe later on that day or that week. Now reflect on what you've just experienced in this meditation. What touched you? What are you taking away from this meditation? Okay, now slowly come back here. You can open your eyes. Now, I have a microphone. What I'd like to do is come out here and ask a couple of you what surprised you about this meditation. What in this little meditation were you surprised by? Anything? You raise your hand. Would anybody surprised by anything? Yes.
Thanks. Sure. I was surprised by seeing my son here with us, who's 10.
Nice. Any other surprises? Things that you were surprised by? Okay. Here.
I was surprised at all the new faces and how excited they were at this January or February gathering that I imagined in my mind.
I was surprised that my vision was not some like earth-shattering sermon, but it was literally just like the part of drinking coffee and like talking about our cats, like the community part about it. So we already have that, but I can see that going into the future.
Anyone else? Oh, there we go. One more. There we go.
The thing that popped out to me was at the end, how did you end? It's asking us what we noticed was an appreciation of ritual.
Okay. Oh, I'll get Bob before we head up. Okay.
I don't need to present any programs. At my age, I can go along very well with the now generation who runs the place.
Okay. All right. My friends, I hope that some of these surprises become realities for you. Perhaps they will. Perhaps they'll take a little work on your part for them to be. You may have to initiate cat talk, but whatever, it's fine. But here's the thing I want you to know, and it's a real kicker. There are going to be surprises that you haven't even considered yet. And I hope you strap yourself in and prepare to be really surprised by the things that will happen here. Be open and curious. One last thing I want to share with you. There's an old Zen koan attributed to Zen master Lin Ji that says, if you find Buddha on the road, kill him. Okay? I know that may seem counterintuitive, but the meaning of that is that most important things that each person must learn, no one can teach them. Once they accept this disappointment, they will be able to stop depending on the therapist, the guru, the minister, who is, after all, just another struggling human being. In other words, the Buddhahood of each of us has already been obtained. We only need to look within and recognize it. So my friends, I hope that for you. I hope that for you, that you look within during this time. And don't lose what you want to sing, but find a way to make it yours. Blessed be.
For this last time singing Spirit of Life, you are free to stand in body or spirit, and I might step away from the microphone, so you might have to sing it on your own. Who knows? Let's sing. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all stirrings of passion. Blowing the wind, rising the sea, moving land, giving life the shape of justice. Roots holy rose, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to
Well, it's now time for gratitudes and announcements. Oh, it says that up there. Particularly we're having our congregational meeting today. I want to really thank the board, our leadership for putting all this together, making it happen. Woo, woo, yes. And all the professional staff who've, support the volunteers here, and our professional staff up here, and we have, right now, Jessica's out there with the kids, and Cheryl in our business office, who's just amazing. Cairo, who's our communications. Derek, who might stick his hand out there, just a second. No, yes, okay. There we go. And thank you all for being here today. It means a lot. Next week, the service will be led by our talented and inspiring children and youth. You've got to come. Special service will showcase their creativity, their wisdom, the spirit of our younger members as they take the lead and guide us through a unique and meaningful worship service, not to be missed. And of course, after today's service, we'll have lunch, and then will be our congregational meeting. It's very important that people stay. We need a quorum. So we're going to count if we have a quorum in just a few minutes, during lunch, actually. I have two other quick announcements. You know, we have this 40-year recertification by the county for certain little projects. No, they're not that little. Well, one of them's beginning. They can. No, they're not little. But one of them is beginning. June 10th, Monday at 7:30 a.m., the cement on either side of this building is going to be torn up and put back to lean away from the church. During this time, please exercise caution, obey signage, and watch the equipment and machinery and avoid prohibited areas. It's going to take maybe a week or so for this to get done. Please watch yourselves, okay? The last announcement I have is, with sadness I tell you, this will be our last lunch for after service. But until the fall. But there's a small group of people who decided that, we like having something to eat after the service. So they're going to create sort of snacks. We call them hospitality hours after the summer services. If you'd like to bring a snack, please bring a snack. Janice, I believe, and Carol are going to be organizing snacks. So, come and chew and snack and after the summer services. So there you go. I want to bring us to a close with these words by Reverend Peter Rabel. Peter Rabel was a man I knew. He was in charge of a settlement for many, many years in the Unitarian Universalist Association, somebody I knew very well. I want to share his words with you. We build on foundations we did not lay. We warm ourselves by fire we did not light. We sit in the shade of trees we did not plant. We drink from wells we did not dig. We profit from persons we did not know. And that is how it should be. Together, we are more than one person could be. Together, we can build across the generations. Together, we can renew our hope and faith in the life that is yet to unfold. Together, we can heed the call to a ministry of care and justice. May we become bound as one beloved community. Amen. I invite you to stand, and if you would, greet one another, especially those people you don't know. Let us build this community together. Joseph.